Hey, my babies. This video comes about as an answer to a question that I received on TikTok about my necklaces. Someone asked me if they were satanic, and the short answer is no. However, I am very, very thankful always to have an opportunity to teach, because there are a lot of people that are new to the path of esoterics, and a lot of the information can be very, very overwhelming, and some symbols can even get a bad rap simply due to lack of knowing what they are. So in this video, I will actually address the elements of both of my necklaces. Now, they were given to me as gifts by from people that are very near and dear to my life, and they know and understand what I practice. And so I will not only break down the meanings of the elements of my necklaces, but I will also let you know how they relate to me personally as well, and what I use them for. Now, I myself have been studying spiritual teachings for the majority of my life. And for me, the energy of God is the Great Mother. So in this video, or any subsequent video that I post, when I refer to the Great Mother, this is who I am speaking of. Just for me personally, that energy has always been a very feminine, nurturing, loving, and motherly energy. So I myself have studied many teachings, and one of the teachings that I like the most comes from Kabbalah. Okay. One thing that I really love most about Kabbalah is that it teaches us that God is not something that is outside of ourselves, so much so whereas it is known as the all, right? All things. And so there are a few rituals that I start my day with, because the energy that I channel is actually quite the opposite of satanic energy. And these symbols are used in some of the rituals that I use to start my day. And I do them daily just because I do spiritual work for a living, and I spend the majority of my day on the other side of the veil in the ether. So these symbols I use them to protect me, right? And so it always reminds me of my journey. Now, I will start with the first element, and I love this necklace because I can flip this up. Now, this on its own, right? I'll put my shirt up so you can see it. This on its own, the 5-pointed star, is what is known as a pentagram. Okay. This is used a lot in Wicca and other magical practices. And the 5 points on the star actually represent an element. So you have earth, fire, air, water, and spirit, or ether. Now, the way to be able to tell a good pentagram from a bad pentagram is this spirit point, right? The topmost point will always be pointed upwards. Okay. So this is usually the sign of a practitioner of some sort of higher magic, right? So when you put that in the circle, right, it becomes a pentacle. The circle is basically a symbolization of the all-encompassing nature of not only all of the elements, but the all-encompassing nature of us and the oneness of us with God and nature and all things. Wiccas use this a lot as a symbol of protection, and they use this in their magical workings. Now, going back to the pentacle itself, there are 3. Okay, excuse me, the pentagram. Going back to the pentagram itself, there are 3. Again, good pentagram, it's pointed upwards. There are actually 2 kinds of pentagram, but they will look exactly the same. The difference is how the user draws the pentagram, the starting point. So banishing pentagrams, right? So they start from here, earth, to go back up, right? So the idea is that we are pulling energy up from Mother Earth to go back out into the cosmos. Now, this is to get rid of any negative energy that you may come across or anything like that. And since energy can neither be created or destroyed, the idea is that the grounding energy of Earth not only comes up to push it out, but comes up to you to ground you, right? And to send this unuseful energy back out into the cosmos, back to source, in order to be transmuted and cleansed into an energy that is more high vibrational and more useful, and that will either return back to me or go where it needs to go, but now as a purified energy. There is also the Invoking Pentagram. Okay, again, it looks exactly the same. However, the starting point of it is from up to down. So from spirit down to earth, right? So this is like symbolizing pulling your blessings down from heaven. To, you can use the Invoking Pentagram for manifestation, and you can also use it to call on the assistance of angels or even other higher vibrational entities and deities. Okay, so that is the banishing, right? Like, think about it. Get out of here, right? Get out. And invoking, come here to me. So that is the pentagram and the pentacle. Now, the inverted pentagram is the one that most people are referring to when they think of the satanic one, right? Now, or the malefic one, the pentagram that is used for malefic intent. The northernmost point, the spirit point, is pointing downward. This inverted pentagram was also adopted by the Church of Satan, and the 5 points are representative of the horns on the god Pan or Lucifer. Now, this is a little bit of a gray area because there is a difference between Satanism and Luciferianism. And Satanism isn't really even always what we think it is. I actually used to work with a Satanist, and I've always wanted to learn about other teachings and spiritual practices that were different than my own, not to practice them, however, just to educate myself. Also, too, the inverted pentagram can be used for curses and hexes. Okay, so when you see that point pointing down, this is usually a practitioner that may have, you know, a darker form of magic that they practice. And for those that wear it and not know what it means, this is actually what it is. So that is the inverted pentagram. Now, the next element of my necklace is, so also again, when it's flipped up, it's a pentagram, right? It's a star. Then when it's flipped down, it is the star inside of the circle, which makes it a pentacle. Again, this is a symbol of protection. Now, the next element of this necklace is actually, if you notice, this bottom part creates a moon. And for me, lunar energy is important because I am a Leo rising Leo, and fire is a masculine element. So I naturally carry and give off a lot of masculine energy. And not to say that it's a bad thing or anything like that, because despite our gender, we all do carry masculine and feminine energy. So for me, being a Leo rising Leo, that is double fire, it takes a little bit more work for me to rest in my feminine energy and not come off so spicy, because I am a quite spicy woman. But this, you know, does remind me, it helps me to channel more feminine energy so that I can have a more feminine approach. Because whether you are a man or a woman, or whatever gender you identify with, feminine energy is manifestation energy and creation energy, right? And it also gives us that softer approach, because it is easier for us to get the things that we want when we're in a more delicate energy. Also, for me, as an oracle, the moon is representative of the subconscious, right? Not only is it divine feminine energy, but the moon is the celestial body of the subconscious, psychic energy, and intuition. So this is also representative of that for me as well, channeling lunar energy, because I am a Leo rising Leo. That is double sun, and that is a very masculine energy, the most dynamic masculine energy in the solar system, because it is, like I said, it is the sun, it's the center. And so, like I said, for me to kind of balance out my masculine energy, and it helps me to rest more in my feminine energy. And like I said, it kind of helps calm my spice down a little bit, because I don't always need to be so spicy. Now, the next one, right? This is the six-pointed star, or the Star of David. This was actually given to me by my aunt. She follows Messianic Judaism. Okay, they are very, very Old Testament, and there are a lot of elements of my spiritual work that are against her religious values, right? But we have an understanding, because one thing that I love about my aunt, she's one of my favorite people, is she is a very reasonable woman, and we can converse and see each other's points without combating. And since she is my aunt and she has seen these things happen to me and has witnessed firsthand these gifts that I have been presenting since a very, very, very young age, despite her religious beliefs, she, also cannot really deny the fact that I have a different path. So when she gave this to me, she said, I don't know why it is that you can do what you do, and you tend to have to travel to places that most of us dare not tread, and I would like for you to have this so that I can always make sure that you're protected, because you're my niece and I love you. And so it has very much a sentimental value to me, because again, my aunt is my favorite, one of my favorite people, and so she gave this to me. However, what I practice is actually a few Kabbalistic rituals. And the funny thing is that there's also resources on this too. Some of the rituals that I use to start my day come from the Golden Dawn practice, or Kabbalah. So I actually start my day with the middle pillar ritual, right? What this ritual does, and these two rituals are especially important for me because I do spiritual work for a living, but anyone can do this. The idea of the middle pillar is to basically turn me on for the day, right? Turn on my superpowers for the day. So what it does is I turn myself pretty much into a conduit, and I have the cosmic energy coming down from source, because when I am channeling, it is safer for me to channel cosmic energy and not use my own energy, because using your own energy can, give away your life force. We are very much divine beings. However, we are housed in human fallible meat bag shells, okay? And so we don't want to drain our life force. So this is a grounding energy. It comes from the cosmos down through my body and down into Mother Earth. That is the first ritual that I start with. And in the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, there are actually other videos on YouTube on this, and the point of the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram is to, again, banish that negative energy away from me. And also in that, I do evoke the angels. So actually, the energy that I am channeling at any given moment, it comes from a high divine source. And despite the fact that I do not go to church, I am actually probably channeling more heavenly source godlike energy than some people that are in pulpits judging and saying that we are devil people. So in that, again, I do use the banishing pentagram, okay, get all of this negative energy away, and then it surrounds me. At the end of the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, we say, around me flame the pentagrams, and within me shines the six-rayed star. The six-rayed star, or the Star of David, is also a common glyph for the heart chakra, right? Because this is the symbol of masculine, feminine and masculine. So it is the balance of both. It is the all-encompassing harmony of masculine and feminine energy and earthly and divine energy, right? Embracing the duality of our cosmos. So she gave me this, and it is also a protective symbol as well, because when you have wholeness, you're kind of like spiritually unfuckwittable. So that is the explanation of my necklaces and what they mean to me and what I use them for and what you can use them for as well. Again, there are videos on the the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. If you would like to learn more, like I said, there are a lot of resources out there. One personal person. One book that I read that really helped me to understand them and the use of them actually is a book called High Magic. It's spelled Magick. It is by a practitioner called Damien Eccles, and he breaks it down really, really palatably for the layman, and it's very easy, and he gives it from a very practical perspective. I actually don't have the book here with me, but it is a really good and easy read, and he gives you these practices to help you, so this way magic can guide you on your path and on your journey. So I definitely hope that this helped cleared up some misconceptions about the pentacle and the pentagram. And, so this way we can identify. And if you don't know this and you are wearing items of clothing or jewelry and you're not sure what these symbols mean, then, hopefully this definitely helps. So again, remember, good pentacle or pentagram, that spirit point is pointing up, right? Inverted pentacle or pentagram, it's pointing downwards. Okay, so again, if you are wearing items of clothing with this pentagram and you are not, or jewelry, and you don't know what this means, you could definitely unwittingly be channeling a different kind of energy that is not really conducive for you and your highest good. So I definitely hope this helps. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to ask, because I am more than happy to always answer them. So until next time, you guys have a divinely beautiful day. Love you.